Good morning to all the participants and speakers, wherever you are. We would like to welcome you to our session entitled Resilience of the Hospitality Industry. I'm Dr. Shirley Guevara, the Dean of the College of Home Economics and former Chair of the Department of Hotel, Restaurant, and Institution Management from the University of the Philippines. Joining me here is my co-chair, Dr. Jennifer Loverio, an assistant professor in the same department. We chose the topic on resilience to be able to share the experiences of the people involved in the hospitality industry during the pandemic. Specifically, we will be discussing the topic from three perspectives: human, business, and territorial. According to Falk et al. In 2010, resilience or resilience thinking suggests that crisis events can open up new opportunities for evaluating or re-evaluating the existing situation, start social mobilization, merge sources of experience and knowledge for learning, and stimulate innovation and novelty. It can even lead to new adaptability or spark transformational change. This is what we would like to share with you today. We will have a 15-minute question and answer portion after all the presentations. So please take note of your questions to our speakers. I now call on Dr. Jennifer Loverio to introduce the speakers to you.
Thank you, Dr. Guevara. We have three speakers today from three different countries: the United States, Taiwan, and China. They will be discussing three different topics on resilience based on their experience in their respective countries. Now, our first speaker is Mr. Ian Kenneth Cruz. He is currently the manager of Hotel, a restaurant in Bal Harbour, Florida. He is also the on-call duty manager of the Hilton Fort Lauderdale Marina, and he previously worked in the restaurant industry and in hotels like Sheraton and Marriott Hotel and Spa. So please help me welcome Mr. Ian Cruz.
Thank you, Dr. Jennifer Loverio. Hello, everyone. I'm very honored and humbled to be invited here in the conference. Please note, I do not have any PhD or master's degree in this industry, but it is my pleasure to share with you today my experience as a staff member, as a supervisor, as a manager, and a colleague to my team, what I went through, what we went through the past 2 years as we in the hospitality went through a very challenging time, the COVID-19 pandemic. 2014, I worked for Marriott Hotel Manila, and then I moved to the United States a year later to work for Marriott Hotel Resort and Spa in South Carolina. I was a management trainee there for housekeeping and front office operations. 3 years later, I moved to Denver, Colorado. I worked for the Sheraton Convention Hotel in Colorado, while also working for a sushi restaurant as a part-time server. November 2019, I helped open a dual property downtown, Hampton Inn and Homewood Suites by Hilton. So I worked 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Hilton, and then I would drive to the Sheraton and then work there 4 to 11 o'clock. So I worked 2 full-time jobs during that time. The future was very bright. I received multiple recognitions from Marriott for my work with them. I felt I was like unstoppable. I felt so determined in the industry. I was making good money. And then came the news about COVID-19, January 21 of 2020, and it spread and it spread and it spread. March 12, we received an email from the sales department that another group has canceled their conference in the hotel that time. So March 12, it was the 4th group in the past couple days that canceled their conference. And then while all this is happening, all this bad news were coming in, March 17th, 5 days later, the Denver City in Colorado announced or mandated a 2-week shutdown of all restaurants and event venues. So I lost my part-time job that time because I was working for a sushi restaurant that time. So I lost that part-time job. A week later, the Sheraton Convention Center started laying off people. First were the banquets team, and then followed by the food and beverage, everyone from servers to barbacks to bartenders, and then followed by the managers. And then finally, the day after, the directors were also laid off. I was one of the few lucky chosen ones to work, quote unquote, man the hotel from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. The general manager and the telephone operator will be scheduled, or were the ones working 7 to 3, so 2 of them. And then it's just me and the director for engineering at 3 to 11, and then 1 night auditor and a security person at night. So there was just 6 of us, plus the director of sales and marketing during the day. So 5, 6 of us were left from the original 100 employees. We're still lucky because we received money from the government, a relief check of 1,500, and then I think a year later we receive another 1,500 on top of unemployment benefits from the state. I was receiving $1,000 to $1,400 a week. To be honest, that's higher than what I was making as a manager that time. But that did not stop me from wanting to work. Money was great, staying home was great, but I'm the person who does not want to stay at home. That's when everything sunk in. That's the time when I feared for my future. June 30th, 2020, Hapa Sushi Restaurant reopened its door, only for to-go pickup or delivery. And then when the owner of the restaurant learned that the hotel I was working at as a manager was closed, they offered me the management position. The mandate from the state of Colorado is, it started with 50% occupancy, tables should be 6 feet apart, sushi seats. So this is a sushi restaurant. We have 22 seats in front of the sushi chefs making your sushi and sashimi. So yeah, face masks were required everywhere. You can only remove it when you start drinking and eating. Whenever you leave the table, go to the restroom, for example, you have to put your mask on. We were no longer providing menus. We use the QR code system, where the guests scan the QR code, order from there, pay from their phone. No cash transactions, no credit card, no handing out of credit cards, only really using their phones. And then we've also updated our employee code of conduct and asked every single staff who was back to work to sign the updated version. We've added, quote unquote, as an employee of Hapa Restaurant, you have committed yourself to being an ambassador of health and safety and a good representative of our community. You agree to abide by CDC and state of Colorado guidelines as they pertain to COVID-19. It's basically an entire page outlining what we should avoid doing, what activities we need to avoid doing when we're not at work and when we are at work. And then during that time, I was also picking up shifts at the Hampton Inn and Suites on my days off at the restaurant. I went through Hilton Clean Stay training. Hilton Clean Stay training, yeah, that's what they called it. Hilton partnered with Lysol to target areas for a safer and clean stay. Part of our task at the front desk is to sanitize high-touch areas around the front desk. We have to wipe the PIN pad for credit cards every hour. We have to wipe every counter at the gift shop, the refrigerator doors, the bell carts, the elevator, the time clock by our office, the photocopy machine we have to wipe or sanitize, the three business room computers, which is next to the front desk, we have to wipe or sanitize, sorry, every hour we have to log it that we did it. It was only me during the day. I was the only front desk supervisor slash agent slash everything. It was a lot of work with a very low occupancy. So we clean, sanitize and sanitize during those times. The Hilton also doubled down on its award-winning digital key technology for the guests who desire to have a contactless arrival experience. Guests can check in, choose their room, access their room with a digital room key, and check out using their mobile devices through the Hilton Honors mobile app. Hilton will continue to expand its digital key capabilities to common doors and access points like the elevators, the gym, the door to the laundry room. So everything is digital. They converted it to digital. On your right screen is what we call the Hilton Clean Stay Room Seal. So it's an added extra measure of assurance, tangible, right? Tangible to assure guests that once the room seal is on the door, that indicates that the room has not been accessed by anyone else. The last person who accessed that room was the housekeeping manager, housekeeping supervisor, and that it was being thoroughly cleaned. Then we have this training points for our housekeeping and housekeeping supervisors and managers, and also the front desk staff, to make sure we communicate on how we clean our rooms every time the guest checks out. There's 10 high-touch deep clean areas, extra attention, extra disinfection of the most frequently touched guest room areas like your light switches, your door handles, the TV remotes, thermostats, and more. There was also an improved guideline for disinfecting the hotel spa and fitness center, possibly closing for cleaning multiple times during the day, limiting the number of guests allowed in at one time. The guests during the soft opening, the guests were even have to sign up at the front desk for 1 hour to schedule the use of gym and pool, and that 1 hour is exclusive for that one guest. Then came the hiring crisis. I mean, there's still hiring crisis right now in every industry in the US, especially the hospitality industry. The hiring crunch is an ongoing challenge for hotel and restaurants. As a result, there is a sharp focus on finding talent, from the front desk to housekeeping staff to cooks. The employees, everyone applying, are demanding for higher pay. Everyone's demanding for better benefits. We have incentives. We're offering incentives such as educational opportunities, comprehensive training, association membership, gym membership, flexible work environments. We offer those, or almost everyone stepped up offering this enhanced benefits, just to because everyone's scrambling on how to fill empty positions even up to this day. At the hotel, every position, not just at the hotel, even at the restaurant I'm working at right now, that we've increased our rates for at least $2 to $3 an hour.
Ian, okay. Can you wrap up?
Yep, absolutely. Despite ongoing effects of the pandemic, 2022 looked to be more promising as the industry figures out how to fulfill guest expectations without compromising safety. In fact, Estes Green, whose company evaluates and forecasts revenue performance in the digital marketplace, predicted that hotel RevPAR, which was approximately $87 per room in 2019 and down to 42 in 2020, it is now up to 75 and 80 for 2022. Hilton's second quarter financial report indicates a significant improvement on its RevPAR or revenue per right here, revenue. Oh gosh, I got lost. Hilton's second quarter 2022 indicates significant improvement in its RevPAR and a 10% increase in its earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Hilton opened its 7,000th hotel recently, another 27,000 hotels in development, new hotel opening on average each day. Marriott is also the same. They've been reporting constant increase in their RevPAR, an average of 70.6% worldwide. Marriott second quarter reported a net income of 678 million. At the restaurant where I work at, if you can see in the middle, it's our sales daily. Last year compared to our sales today, this year, it's up by at least 30%, 47%. Sometimes it's more than that. So I am very hopeful and prayerful that we will come out of this crisis stronger and more competitive. It is difficult to know exactly what to expect, but one thing is certain, dear friends, the adventure has just begun. Our time is now to leave our mark through passion, creativity, environmental and ethical values to the ever resilient industry, our hospitality industry. Again, my name is Ian. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ian Cruz, for sharing your experience during the pandemic, as well as what your companies have done in an effort to adjust during the COVID-19 and what is happening now. And I believe we all believe that because of the resilience of the hospitality industry, the outlook for everyone is quite rosy. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our second speaker. He is Dr. Robert Xu. He's currently the Dean of the International Master's Program of Tourism and Hospitality and the Principal Investigator of the Hospitality and Tourism Mind Science Lab of the National Kaohsiung University of Hospitality and Tourism in Kaohsiung, Taiwan. Let us welcome Sir Robert Xu.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jennifer, for your introduction. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen around the world. My name is Robert. I'm currently serving as the director of IMTH, which stands for International Master Program of Tourism and Hospitality. I'm also the director of Young Scholar Club on our campus. Today, it is my pleasure to present the company that I think can perfectly showcase the resilience of the hospitality industry in the COVID pandemic. Okay, it is a smart hotel chain in Taiwan. Okay, the name of this company is called Dunqian, and they have two slogans. One is for their business partner. Right here, you can see that's dream easy and do it smart. And the other slogan is for the travelers, embark your dream journey with the technology. With these two slogans, they think that through the power of smart technology, they can provide customized and convenient service to the travelers, which can redefine how we travel. And this is the smart hotel ecosystems that they are committed to creating. And as the pioneer in the global smart hotel industry, they believe that smart life is not just a short-term trend. Using technology to improve our life will be achieved. And These are the 4 top executives, okay? All of them very, very young at their 30s. I'm going to introduce the brand history, okay? So they started as a very, very small startup company in the year of 2009. And back at that time, they didn't use the name Dunqian. So in the year of 2015, it has already aimed the trends of smart hospitality development. So at the beginning, the vertical integration of smart hotels was started. In the October of the same year, the world's first smart unmanned hotel, Chess Hotel, was opened. And since then, it has developed core technologies and products covering from hotel management systems to new retail platform, sales pipeline integration, business data analysis, IoT terminal equipment, automated robots, as well as membership service, just name a few. Dunqian entered the markets with the concept of disruptive innovation. In the year of 2017, the second smart hotel, Dream Mansion Hotel, opened, introducing robot meal delivery service. It was a rising star in the hotel industry in Taiwan. Dunqian is committed to building a global smart hotel as well as smart hotel ecology, and promote this concept to the international market. So right before the outbreak of pandemic in the year of 2019, it started to work with some international partners. Okay, in this years, they say they signed the MOU with the Eco World Malaysia as well as the WBF Group in Japan. So in the same year, they acquired 2 more hotels. Right in the middle of the pandemic, I think that they are very smart because they answer the call of the CDC of Taiwan because they need a large number of quarantine hotels. And traditional hotels, they decided not to join this kind of group because they think that carrying the name of quarantine hotel will probably hurt their business reputation. But Dunqian think that it is a perfect opportunity for them to join these quarantine hotels because it will stabilize their cash flow. So they can get the money from the CDC, the stipend, the financial support from the government, as well as they can charge the guests. So they, with a stable cash flows, so they start to acquire and merge hotels. So in the year of 2020, they acquired 8 hotels and entered the very first, the second quarter of 2021, they acquired 4 more hotels, many in Taichung City near their headquarters. Okay, in the third quarters, they acquired another 10 hotels, many in Taipei cities. The reason why that they start to acquire hotels in Taipei City is because the couple joined their management team. So they have profound knowledge about the markets in Taipei City. So in the fourth quarters, they acquire another 4 hotels. And this year, they merge or acquire more than 10 hotels already. So last week, they told me that they just bought another 3 hotels. So the total is more than 45 hotels in their control right now. Okay. So the service that they provide is that the first one is the M&A. Okay, so the Dunqian just merged and changed the name of the hotels and and take control of the operation and management. The other one is that probably the hotel owners, they don't want to sell their hotel to Dunqian, so they choose the entrusted management. So Dunqian can provide the consulting service to them, but they can keep their hotel name. The third one is that they just sell that kind of service about the smart hotel systems. They have developed their own self-checking kiosk. They upgrade their electronic lock system, just like Ian just said about what Hilton did in the past few years. And also the elevator control integration and the smart locker systems and robot service. So this is the kiosk self-check-in kiosk. So the guests, they don't need to find the staff to help them to check in, as long as with the valid ID. So the guests can do that all by themselves, and they can also find the parking space. As you guys probably knows, that's the parking space in Taipei City, especially in Taipei City, is very, very rare, and that's why it's very difficult to find a parking space in Taipei City. So they designed a systems. Okay, so the guests can find the parking space with their parking system management. Okay, so they can find the reserved parking space. And they can also have that kind of vouchers printing out, so they can use that voucher, or you can download that on the cell phone. You can use that vouchers to visit the nearby vendors or the shops, so you can enjoy some special discount because of this, because of the status of being the guests of Dunqian. Okay, that is the self check-in kiosk, and upgrades the electronic locket system. So pretty much like the Hilton disc, the mobile phone is the room card. Okay, and the QR code is the way that's for the guests to get in the room and control the elevators as well. And also, yes, just like this, the slide said, that you can control the elevator using the QR code. And also the self-locker systems. One good thing about this one is that the cabinet doors can be opened remotely. Okay, so if the group of the visitors, they go into decided to go to different places, they don't have, and they forget about something in the locker room, they don't have to get back to the locker, okay, to get the stuff out. They can just use their remote controls to help one of their the friends to get the things out of the lockers without going back to the hotel. And this is the robotic deposit lockage system. This is a very interesting story, because this robotic arms, it was used for the vehicle manufacturing. But the two CEO, they think it will be a pretty eye-catching stuff, so they decide to spend that money. I think that's one of this costs around $1 million NT dollars. Okay, so not only the arms, not included the software. So they purchase the arms, and then they have to recode the softwares for the hospitality use. So they purchased that, and it was a very, very good strategy to attract a lot of young visitors, and the guests are trying to use this kind of fancy stuff. Okay, and more than that, there are also a lot of YouTubers as well as the bloggers to try this kind of service. So so this is a very, very successful case for their innovative mindset about providing different kinds of the service to the young visitors or guests. And this is the robust service. Okay, we also, NKUHT also bought one of this on our campus hotel. And interesting thing is that the hardware of this robot is not made by them. Okay, it is made in China. They import that at a very, very cheap price to Taiwan. And again, they recode the software. They have a very strong team of the programmers. They rewrite the softwares so they can be used in Taiwan. And again, it was a very, very interesting and fancy stuff especially for the kids. The kids always like to play with this robot, and so they always climb on the robots, because the robot can move, and then the kids will always travel with and go with them. Okay, so the robot can enter the elevator by themselves. Okay, so very, very interesting, and especially in the pandemic, because we are expected to keep the social distance. So the environmental disinfection functions of this robot service can really do that kind of service without the possibility of the, the two people get in touch with each other, okay? And they started to come up with the idea about providing their business consultants. So they decided to set up this consultants company called End Crossing. Okay, so they start this company in the year around the 2019 or 18, I kind of forgot. And they provide their profound experience of hotel management to the all hotels, because all hotels, they are facing a crossroad of either going out of business or going upgrade and then become one of the smart hotels. So they can, if they choose the other ones, which means that they want to transform into smart hotels, they can get in touch with Dunqians. So Dunqian can help them to quickly and smoothly transform into a smart hotel. And they also, their professional R&D teams can provide the smart devices and systems for the hotel systems, and also carry out the product developments and optimizing, and provides their guests or passengers with the cutting edge service experience. And of course, the Dunqian can, because they have their prior experience of using smart hotel systems. So this kind of systematic management can help the all hotels to save labor costs. As Ian just said, that's even in Taiwan, it is very difficult for the hotels or restaurant to find the working force, okay? Because, as far as I know, our students, they think that hospitality industry is very vulnerable to this kind of pandemic. You will never know next wave of the pandemic when this kind of pandemic will take place again. So they are pretty reluctant to join the hospitality industry. So one way to deal with this kind of shortage is that hotels as well as restaurants can integrate the technology to help them to save the labor cost or the labor force. Okay, and also it can share the data, and based on this data, the companies or the hotels can formulate business strategies in a timely manner. Okay, and it can also make the business strategies and adjustments from the data analysis to achieve the franchise owner's business goal. So that's pretty much my presentation. Would that be too short?
It's a little bit long, but I think we can cope with it.
Okay, thank you very much. All right.
So thank you for the very informative presentation, Dr. Xu. I'm sure our participants have learned a lot from what you've shared, and hopefully our colleagues can actually do this when we finish or when they go back to their work. Now let us move on to our third speaker. The third speaker is Dr. Linlin Xu. She is the Dean of Tourism Management Department in the College of Science and Technology in Ningbo University in China. Her research interest includes rural tourism and enterprise management. So let's all welcome Dr. Linlin Xu.
Hello everyone, I'm Lili Xue from Ningbo, China. I'm very honorable to share with you about the China's hotel industry and the COVID-19 pandemic. First, I will share my PowerPoint with you. Please wait for a moment. The topic I will share with you is about the resilience of the hotel industry in China and the COVID-19 pandemic. I will introduce from three aspects. First, about the impact of COVID-19 on China's hotel industry. And second, the coping strategies adopted by the hotel and government supporting policies. The damage caused by COVID-19 to the hotel industry is similar in the world. First, the number of hotels declined. Under the COVID-19 situation, the hotel operation continued to be under pressure, and the supply side of the industry accelerated to clear. From 2020 to 2021, the number of hotels in China reached 252,000 in 2021, a year-on-year decrease of 9.68%. Among the closed hotels, small individual hotels account for large proportions. The proportion of chain hotels continue to increase, and the chain trend is more obvious. Chain hotels are more resilient than individual hotels in coping with the pandemic. Second, from the operating performance aspects, overall performance declined significantly. Take Jinjiang Hotel Group as an example. Jinjiang Hotel Group was listed in 1996. It is a multi-brand hotel chain leader in China. Its brands have formed a complete brand matrix, covering from economy to upmarket. According to company's announcement from 2015 to 2019, the operating revenue of Jinjiang Hotel continued to grow year by year. But in 2020, it was affected by the COVID-19 pandemic and fell to 9.898 billion RMB, a year-on-year decrease of 34.45%. In 2021, the company realized a revenue of 11.239 billion RMB, a year-of-year increase of 14%. From January 2020 to now, the COVID-19 pandemic has lasted for nearly 3 years. The development of COVID-19 has fluctuated, and the hotel operates in a cleft between the fluctuations of the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2019, the total number of the tourists in China is 6 billion, but in 2020, the number was only 2.8 billion, nearly half less. In the first half of 2021, the number of tourists was 1.78 billion, a slight increase over 2020. Judging from holidays such as May Day and the Dragon Boat Festival in 2021, the number of tourists has reached 230 million and 89 million, more than 30% compared with 2019, and nearly 100% recovered before the COVID-19 pandemic. Such data is still considerable. During the business, tourists have reduced their travel as much as possible, while leisure travel demand is more elastic, leading the recovery of the hotel industry. The fourth impact performance is that the recovery of the hotel industry varies according to the degree of the status of COVID-19. Since the outbreak, the domestic hotel industry has experienced twists and turns in the road of recovery, and didn't show the expected V-shaped reversal. However, whenever the COVID-19 pandemic is alleviated and the prevention and control measures are degraded, the demand will also rebound rapidly, and the clamping period of operation is short. In 2021, the recovery of revenue per available room started at the end of the Q1 and Q2 ushered in a highlight moment. It fluctuated at a low level in the second half year, in the low level due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and the recovery level at the end of the year was fixed at 74 percentages before the COVID-19. From a monthly perspective, from January to February, affected by the multi-point spread of COVID-19 and the policy of the Spring Festival, the hotel industry quickly repaired in March and continued to recover at a high level from April to May. However, the COVID-19 spread in Guangzhou and Nanjing Hukou airports in June and July. Disrupted the recovery pace of the industry. In the whole second half year, the hotel industry failed to reproduce the highlight moment of the first half of the year. But in June 2022, the Chinese government adjusted a number of pandemic control measures, such as shortening the isolation scope and time. These policies have given great confidence to tourism market, and the tourism industry, including the hotel industry, has experienced a short-term rapid recovery. In July, the occupancy rate and the price of hotels in many regions increased significantly. To cope with the negative impact of COVID-19, the hotels have taken a series of self-rescue measures. First, many chain hotels have launched the sales of accommodation cards, which are characterized by long validity period, low price, large number of optional hotels, and in many regions. This practice also shows the advantages of chain hotels. Second, many hotels arrange employees to take unpaid leave to reduce cost. This practice has effectively reduced the human cost of the hotel, but it has caused a great survival pressure for the hotel staff. During the closure of the hotel, they can't obtain basic living security, thus leading to the loss of many staff. This practice is unfavorable to the sustainable development of the staff and the hotel. Third, many hotels adjust business priorities and tap the holiday tourism and the parent-child tourism market. Because the resilience of the near market is stronger than that of the far market. Many upmarket hotels such as Park Hyatt, the Chedi, began to receive the government's group physical therapy and recuperation teams. These teams are cheap, but the number is large and guaranteed. There are some holiday hotels that adjust the source of tourism from receiving the distant holiday market to serving the surrounding parent-child market. For example, Hilton Ningbo has added many parent-child entertainment facilities to meet the needs of parent-child market, so as to extend the stay time of tourists. The performance from July to August 2022 was very good, and the occupancy rate was high due to the summer holiday. Fourth, some hotels are involved in the field of retail and takeout to elevate the problem of insufficient cash flow and expand marketing channels. In face of the COVID-19 pandemic, many hotels continue to carry out various marketing activities through WeChat, Weibo, Xiaohongshu, TikTok, and other platforms, accelerating the construction of media metrics in the vertical field of hotels. And some hotels are requested by the government as an isolation hotel. The government has also given some support to the hotel industry, such as issue consumption vouchers to stimulate consumption. State-owned assets exempt the rent of hotels, provide tax exemption policies for hotels, and so on. The above is all the content I shared, which may not be comprehensive enough. I only discuss and share it with you. Thank you for listening.
Dr. Lin, for sharing your knowledge about the resilience of the hospitality industry in China. The discussion of our speakers. So let's talk about Mr. Ian Cruz. Mr. Ian talked about his personal experience as a hospitality professional in the United States, which, as we all know, was hit hard by the pandemic. He also shared the efforts of his employers, both in the hospitality and in the hotel, and their efforts on how to cope with this pandemic. And as we all are, we're hoping that because the hospitality industry is quite resilient, the future looks quite good. And Dr. Robert Xu talked about a smart hotel called Dunchen, and how this hotel, instead of contracting like any other hotels in the world, actually, it actually expanded during the pandemic. During the pandemic, they joined the list of quarantine hotels, which actually stabilized their cash flow. In 2020 and 2021, the company acquired several hotels in Taichung and Taipei City, and they've also merged with several hotels. And now this, in the future, they're actually thinking of expanding and opening hotels overseas. This shows that a resilient company can adapt and even thrive during a crisis. And in this case, the COVID-19 pandemic. They saw an opening. They saw something that they can offer that no one else could do it. And as a result, they thrived. Our third speaker, Dr. Lin Shi, discussed the hospitality industry in China and what occurred during this pandemic, the impact the pandemic had on China's hotel industry, the coping strategies adopted by the hotels, like arranging unpaid leaves to reduce the cost, and joining the isolation hotel, also lowering the cost of the prices of the hotel, just so they could solve the problems of the cash flow. So she also shared the government policies, such as giving help to the hotel industry during this time. Thank you for joining this session, The Resilience of Hospitality Industry. We would like to announce that the session recording will be made available at www.responsibleborneo.com, ICRTH 2022 program. Also, e-certificates of attendance will be issued to delegates who complete a post-conference survey. So you could find this survey at this link, and this survey will be closed after 1 week. For more information about ICRTH and other conference sessions, please visit us in this link. For any inquiries about ICRTH 2022, please feel free to contact us via ICRTH 2022 at responsibleborneo.com. Thank you.